Welcome to the Pre-Snap Podcast presented by LineStar, your top 5 NFL player picks on Underdog Fantasy for Week 12, Thanksgiving week, alongside my co-host Tyler Wiemann. I am Shannon, Sommerville. Tyler, you ready for Thanksgiving week and to crush some turkey and stuffing? And what is your favorite side dish? That is the important question.
Oh, it's got to be stuffing.
Oh, gotta be. That is number one on my power rankings for the side dishes, for sure, hands down. I mean, sweet, what is this? Yams. The yams are pretty good too, though. I will concede that as much.
But it depends on who's making them.
That's
I feel like stuffing,
everything
you can't
is
go
dependent.
wrong.
Yeah, true.
Like the sweet potatoes or yams, you could get some that aren't as great.
Sounds like you know from experience, Tyler. You want to call
I sure do. I don't want to.
You want to call out that chef?
I don't want to throw Aunt Michelle on under the bus or anything.
Oh boy, Aunt Michelle, that's all right. But you know what goes great with Thanksgiving is some nice player picks on Underdog Fantasy. If you don't already have Underdog Fantasy, of course, you can download it and use the promo code LineStar because you'll get up to $100 of your first deposit match. So make sure to do that. It's a great way to get your picks in. Just check and see if it is legal in your state like it is here in California. It's a great way for me to get in on the game and all the action in NFL this week. We got a lot of great games. We got to make some money so we can head out to those Black Friday sales and just rack up some dough here. Last week on the show, we were 3-2 in our picks. Overall on the season on our NFL shows, we have been 54% correct. We're 93-80 overall. So we're heading in the win column here, building up some bankroll. Last 2 weeks on Underdog Fantasy specifically, we are 8-2 on our picks. So we've been on a bit of a roll here on our Underdog Fantasy picks. So let's keep it going here. Let's start things off with the Dallas Cowboys, which I feel like the Cowboys are synonymous with Thanksgiving games. So let's just roll with Cowboys wide receiver CeeDee Lamb over 88.5 receiving yards. That's higher on Underdog Fantasy if you're playing there. LineStar's projection is over 100 receiving yards for CeeDee Lamb. He's been a monster, averaging 101 per game. He's been over this line for the last 5 games. And he's got a wonderful, nice, meaty, juicy matchup for Thanksgiving going up against the Washington Commanders, who Tyler rank 32nd in my favorite stat, which is pass defense DVOA versus opposing teams' wide receiver one. Week in and week out, we've seen wide receivers absolutely torch the Commanders, and they shipped off a lot of their best defenders the last couple of weeks. So, hey, they're an even a worse defense than they were earlier in the season. You got to think CeeDee Lamb's going to pop this week, right?
Yeah, I'm starting to think that we can go death, taxes, and pick on the Washington Commanders at this point.
Yeah.
Because every week guys are just going off on them. And in this case, it's CeeDee Lamb is coming into this game hot, and we got the Commanders. So I think we kind of just got to roll with this one.
Yeah, I mean, even Darius Slayton just had 82 against them. I was ragging on the Giants quarterback for still sleeping in his parents' house and having his mom make his bed every day, but they took it to the Washington Commanders, and if they can do it, I'm a little worried about what the Cowboys are going to do to this Commanders defense, specifically CeeDee Lamb, though. And in this, he's just been unbelievable this season for the Cowboys, putting up over 100 for the last 5 weeks. He's been awesome, especially if you have him on your fantasy football team. Congrats to you, because you're probably at the top of your rankings in your league. We won't talk about fantasy football, though, Tyler, because you just beat me.
Oh, we won't?
In our league, so we'll move along.
I am 2-0 versus you this week.
The only fantasy we're talking about is Underdog this week. Here we go. Let's go. In that same game, though, we also are liking Terry McLaurin, Scary Terry, higher than 4.5 receptions. That's around -133 in some sports books. LineStar's projection for McLaurin is just over 5 receptions. He's gone over that 4.5 number in 8 of 11 games. He's averaging 5 receptions per game. And in this situation, you got to think the Commanders are going to be playing from behind in this one. So we're going to see that passing game, and Sam Howell try to find his guy and Scary Terry in this one. Do you like Terry McLaurin here?
I do. I mean, they got to throw the ball. They're likely to be behind the whole time. And already this offense has, a high rate of passing over expectations. You get behind a little bit and they pass even more. So there's going to be a lot of attempts. So I think this 4.5 line is probably a little bit too low when, frankly, he's averaging 5 receptions. So.
All right, for our next, we're just going to keep it with the wide receivers here so far. We're going with Baltimore Ravens wide receiver 1, Zay Flowers, higher than 57.5 receiving yards. LineStar and the consensus projection both backing the over here. He's gone over in 5 of 11 games, averaging 53 receiving yards per game. However, he's got a really nice matchup going up against the Chargers, who rank 29th in pass defense DVOA versus opposing teams' wide receiver 1. They just allowed Dontavian Wicks to put up 91 yards against them. That Chargers defense has looked atrocious, and their head coach, Brandon Staley, is getting defensive, fielding questions about whether he's going to continue calling plays on defense because it's just been that bad there for the Chargers. But you got to think the Baltimore Ravens are going to take advantage in this spot. What do you think, Tyler?
I absolutely agree. And not to mention that Mark Andrews is out. So there's likely going to free up some targets. Zay Flowers is averaging 6.5 targets per week. But over the last 4, it's down to 4.5. So I would expect him to get up into that 8 to 10 range for this matchup. And in a very good matchup, that should easily beat our receiving yards line we need.
All right, so some nice matchups there on Underdog Fantasy. By the way, the picks, or how we're getting our picks, is we're using the PropsAI tool on the LineStar app. You can find that at LineStarApp.com. It's what's been helping us crush it lately on Underdog Fantasy. 8-2 over the last 2 weeks, so make sure to check that out at LineStarApp.com. And also, I forgot to mention at the top of the show, if we hit all 5 of our props like we did 2 weeks ago, one randomly selected commenter will win $200. Could go a long way in your Black Friday sale, so make sure all you need to do to enter into that contest is like this video, subscribe to our channel, and comment below. So make sure to drop us a comment. Let us know where you're headed for your picks in Week 12 NFL action. So let's get to it. All right, those are our 3 picks for LineStar. Now it is time for Tyler and I to go head-to-head with our picks. Tyler, where are you headed for your Underdog Fantasy pick for Week 12?
You know what? I have to go to the man himself, Christian McCaffrey, higher than 113.5 yards on Underdog. On Sportsbooks, it's minus 115. But look, over the last 4 weeks, the Seattle Seahawks are allowing 122 rushing yards and 60 receiving yards to the running back. Enter CMC, who's averaging 118 total yards. He's been over in 60% in a great matchup where it is likely that they are going to game plan to run the ball and use CMC a ton. I love this line. He's already over 60% and now has a good matchup. And versus divisional teams, he's played at least 85% of the snaps in every single divisional game.
I was going to say, because I feel like Christian McCaffrey's absolutely torched the Seattle Seahawks. In fact, the last 2 games, he's had over 100 rushing yards alone in those games. I feel like that's a great play here. CMC against a divisional opponent. I like your play there on Underdog Fantasy. All right, for my pick, I'm going to the Arizona Cardinals tight end, Trey McBride, higher than 51.5 receiving yards. Now, he had 131 just 2 weeks ago against Atlanta, and now he's going up against the Los Angeles Rams, a team that ranks 30th in pass defense DVOA versus opposing teams' tight end. Remember, Zach Ertz is still on the IR, so it's Trey McBride who's going to be tight end 1 in this matchup. He had 62 receiving yards versus the Rams. That was back in week 6 where Zach Ertz was in that game, so I expect him to clear this pretty easily in this game, especially considering the fact that the Rams have had a tough time defending opposing tight ends. So I like the spot here for the rookie, over 51.5 receiving yards for Trey McBride. Let's go. Got a lot of good picks here on Underdog Fantasy. And some more will come out later this week. Make sure to just check the PropsAI tool. That'll help you find the best value in the prop market. We realize there's a ton of games on we got games on Friday now, so make sure to check that PropsAI tool because things change, lines change, and LineStar's there to help you make your picks and find the best value in the prop market, including picks on Underdog Fantasy. So make sure you check out that tool as well. And again, make sure if you haven't already, do us a huge favor. We'd be so appreciative for Thanksgiving if you could just give us a like on this video, subscribe to our channel, and give us a comment below. Let us know where you're headed, what you think about what the best side dish is on Thanksgiving. you know, we're not going to throw Aunt Michelle under the bus, but like if you have a recipe for yams, you can drop that below as well. But good luck out there. Have a happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy your time with family and watching some football. Hopefully you can make some money as well. We'll see you guys next time. Have a good one.
Have a good one, guys. Good luck. I'm sorry, Grandma.